Hello there! This hour on Verbling, the next in my Getting Results in Business series, we're working on how to talk about success. We're going to be taking some of our most important key expressions from the last class and putting them into practical use in this class. So that's a little bit about my class. Let's talk a bit about me before I begin. I'm Jon-Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour, and I'm an American teacher from New York, hanging out in Lisbon, Portugal, to bring you this class. Here are 3 quick rules to help you participate in my class. Don't forget to turn off, tune in, and open up, which means when you're not speaking, turn off your microphone so that we can have the classroom as quiet as possible. When you are speaking, tune into the new words and expressions and use them actively so I can correct you and give you feedback. And also, open up to your classmates. Relax and have fun. We're all here to learn, and this is a safe and respectful place to practice your English. And that is a little bit about me. Now, I want to know a little bit about you. So let's say hello to Antonio. Hello, Antonio. How are you? Let's try again. Hello, Antonio. How are you? Hello, Antonio. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
There you go. How you doing? Can you hear me okay? Ooh, I'm having some trouble hearing you, Antonio. I don't know if you can hear me okay.
I can hear you.
Ah, good. Where are you from, Antonio?
I'm from Italy.
From Italy. Great.
Yes.
Whereabouts in Italy? Where are you from?
Yes, I'm from the south of Italy, near Naples.
Naples.
Where are you from?
I'm from New York, but I live in Portugal.
Okay. I have a friend of mine that is coming there. Next week he will visit some relatives over there.
In Portugal?
Not in New York. You are in Portugal at the moment.
I teach in Portugal, and I'm from New York.
Okay. No. I thought you were in New York just now.
Not today. Soon.
Not today. Okay, soon. Nice.
Well, here's what we're going to do. I've given you a link to our presentation. I'm going to share it on my screen too. But if you want to open it up, you can click on that link in the chat window to open the presentation.
I've opened the presentation. How to talk about success. Yes.
That's right. And I'll also put a link to our notes. The notes I tend to use if we have new vocabulary or if I make corrections. Okay, so I'll put a link there as well for that.
Yes, getting results in business.
That's right.
Okay.
I'll tell you when to open your notes. Okay, so let's start with the presentation. Here you go. You can see it on the screen. You can see where we are. We got more people joining us now. Oh, there's someone I don't know, Zaki. Hello, Zaki. How are you?
I'm fine, teacher. How are you?
Zaki, where are you from?
I'm from India.
From India. Have you been in the class before? I think this is your first time, isn't it?
No. Yes, I attended your classes, but before 2 months ago.
2 months ago. Okay.
Yes.
Well, nice to have you back. And we've got Yuki and we've got Ishmael. Fantastic. So for a Monday, that's not bad. Mondays are always kind of quiet. So we're going to work on how to talk about success. In this unit so far, we've talked about achievements and some vocabulary for failures as well. We've worked on reporting back on evaluating research, some key expressions you could use, especially when you're talking about the success or failure of a project and how you might report that back to a team. So we took turns in the last class basically asking and answering questions about a project. Okay, so we're going to take some of those and we're going to add a new skill. In a very practical sense, we're going to talk about how to generalize, what you need to say or do when you're generalizing. So first, let's look at some generalizing words, okay? We're going to go around the room and just read these to make sure that they sound familiar and they're very clear, okay? So everyone, pick a word, say it. Let's go from left to right, starting with Antonio. You don't have to underline the words. I want you just to say the words and tell me whether or not we use it to make generalizations or not. So the first one for us, please.
On the wall.
On the whole. Repeat.
On the whole. On the whole.
Good.
On the whole. Yes,
So,
this is for generalization, I think.
good. So you're going to say, on the whole, generalizing or generalization. Yes. That's it. Okay.
On the whole, generalize.
Good. Ishmael, next one.
Particularly.
Wait, you're not Ishmael.
Oh, no, sorry.
Ishmael, next one for us.
Particularly.
Listen to me. This is the hardest word in the English language because it's not particularly. It's Q. So you have to say, first say Q.
Q.
That's the key there. Particularly.
Particularly.
Not Q, but Q.
Particularly.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? But that's good. If you're having trouble, go backwards. Start with li, and then lurly, and then cularly. Cularly. Say that. Cularly.
Cularly.
Particularly.
Particularly.
Perfect. Perfect. That's it. Whenever you're having trouble, we call this back chaining. You chain the word together. You link it together going backwards. Okay? So you just go syllable by syllable until you find the problem. The problem here is Q. So, particularly, one more time.
Particularly.
Perfect. Is it for generalizing or not? Think about it. Do we use it to generalize or not? Ishmael, what do you think?
Yes.
Does it mean the same as on the whole? Or
no.
Does it? No, of course not. Particularly means something in particular, in other words, a detail. So
Yes.
it's not used for general, not used for generalizations. Okay, Yuki, next one.
All in all.
Except you don't say the L's. All in all.
All in all.
There's no L. It looks like an L, but we don't say it with an L. All in. You can say the L if you connect it to the in. You can say all in. That you can say. All in all.
All in all.
Good.
All in all.
That's it. Generalization or detail?
It's a generalization.
It is a generalization. That's it. And Zaki, next one.
Especially.
Listen. Especially.
Especially.
Yeah, especially.
Especially.
Good. Generalization or detail?
Detail.
Absolutely. It's not a generalization word. Very good. Okay, let's go a little faster now. Back to, who was the first?
Antonio.
Antonio.
Yes. Overall. Overall is the word.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, overall is yes, is a generalization.
Just for you, or for everyone? For everyone.
I think.
Of course.
Okay. Overall, so it's a generalization.
Listen to my pronunciation. Overall.
Yeah. Overall.
There's no L.
Overall.
There's
overall.
no L. That's it.
Yeah.
All.
Overall.
That's it. In Italian, the L is very, very strong. In English, the L is like a U. Instead of all, it's imagine it's AU. All.
Okay.
All.
Overall.
That's it. It's much better. Good. Ishmael, next. We're on line 2 now.
Mainly.
Yep.
It's a generalization.
Good. Yuki, next.
In particular.
Good. Generalization or detail?
It's in detail.
It is a detail. Okay. Next, Saki.
Mostly. Uh, I think in detail.
It's a generalization. Mostly is just like overall or on the whole. Mostly. That means the major part of something. I mostly agree with you. So overall, I agree with you. Okay?
Okay.
We're back to Antonio.
Yeah. In general,
Oh, that's easy, right?
in general is a generalization.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right. Let's say a quick hello to, I think it was Abdullah. Hello, Abdullah. How are you? There you go. Yes, you've got to put on your microphone. Hi, Abdullah. Can you say hello? You're muted right now, Abdullah. You've got to turn on the microphone on the top of the screen. On the top of the screen, the microphone icon is red. You have to make it white. Look on the top of your screen. Okay?
Yeah.
There you go.
Hello.
Hi, Abdullah. Where are you from?
I'm from Saudi Arabia.
From Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
it's first time to join to you guys.
Okay, Abdullah, this is what we're doing. We're doing the third part of this unit. All my units are divided into 5 parts in our business class. The third part of this unit, how to talk about success, is about generalizing. So we always learn a skill and then we put it into use by doing something practical, by having a speaking activity. So right now we're starting off by deciding which words we can use to generalize and which words we cannot use to generalize. So we divided these words up into generalizations and details. And so far we decided that the general words were on the whole, all in all, overall, mainly, mostly, in general, and generally speaking. And the detail words were particularly, in particular, and especially. So that's the first thing we did, is just decide which words we can use to generalize. Okay, so now we're going to start to put it into use, so just so you know where we are. Okay, what you're going to do is listen. There's always a meeting or something in a realistic business situation that you need to listen to. So we're going to, what are we listening to here? Hang on a second here. That's funny. It should say what we're listening to. I have no idea. Hang on just a minute. I have to go take a look at our audio. Since I can't play the audio in the classroom, I have to read it. But hang on just a second, because here I have to take a look at what 73 is. Oh, I see. 73 is just examples. Okay, that's fine. So you don't need to listen to do this. We need to just use our common sense and those generalization words we just learned. It says, take turns to make sentences with the prompts. Prompts means basically the sentences. Using as many of the words you underline, well, we didn't underline, we just identified them as you can. Listen and compare your answers. Okay, so I'll let you listen at the end, but what I'd like us to do is to go around and try to put these sentences together using the generalization words we just learned. For example, you could say, in general, or generally speaking, I prefer to travel by train. In general or generally speaking. So that would be an example for number 1. All right? So, Abdullah, you're going to go last, and Ahmed, you'll go last because you weren't here in the very beginning. But we're going to pick it up with Ishmael for number 2. I want you to say a generalization, preferably a different one than in general, for number 2. Let's put it together as a sentence. Ready, Ishmael? Uh-oh, I think Ishmael is sleeping. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Yuki, number 2. Give it a shot.
Number 2.
Yeah. Think back to that list.
In the list, yeah.
Think back.
In general.
Don't use in general. That's the one on screen. Try to use a different one.
A different one. Okay. Generally speaking, we operate in the far east.
Okay. Generally speaking, we operate in the Far East. It's okay. If you can't remember the other ones, we'll go with that for now. I think there might be a better one. But that's okay. It's not bad. It's fine. I'd like you to use something you don't see on screen now, but that's okay for now. It works. I'll give you a list in just a second.
I mean, we operate in the far east.
Okay, it is better. It's better. Say the sentence again for us, Yuki. The whole thing.
We mainly operate in the far east.
In the Far East, right.
In the Far East.
That's right. So mainly goes before the verb. We mainly operate in the Far East. Very good. Zaki, try number 3. Use one of those generalization words from the previous page. Use your memory as best you can.
Especially, I thought it was an excellent presentation.
Okay, good, but especially is a detail word, not a generalization word. So we can't use especially here.
Okay, I have to, okay. On the whole.
Good.
I thought it was an excellent presentation.
Good. On the whole. Very good. I agree. Okay, Antonio, try number 4. Then we'll turn it over to our newcomers.
Yes, I think we mainly don't work at weekends.
We mainly don't work at weekends.
Or mostly.
We mostly. Yeah,
we mostly don't work at weekend.
Right. We mostly don't work at weekends, but sometimes we do. Mostly we don't. Yeah. Okay, very good. Ahmed, I know you weren't here in the beginning, but what I want you to do is take a look at these words on slide 3. Okay? Memorize them quickly. And I want you to use them to try to construct a sentence that is a generalization from number 5. So you're going to have to flip back and forth between slide 3 and slide 5. Want to give it a try, Ahmed?
Yes, okay. In general, it was a great trip.
Could you use something besides in general? Because I don't want you to use the ones that are on slide 5.
Well, okay.
Slide 4, sorry.
All in all.
Perfect.
It was a great trip.
All in all, it was a great trip. Fantastic. Abdullah, I want you to pick a key expression from this slide that means a generalization, and I want you to use it to create a sentence in number 6.
Number 6. In all, I was happy.
For number 6, look at number 6. We communicate in English. Number 6.
We were very happy with the way it went.
Well, that's number 7. But that's okay. No, it's okay. It's okay. Let's do number 7. So use that with a key expression for generalization, Abdullah. So here's your key expressions, and let's say the sentence again in number 7 using one of the generalizations.
Okay. All in all, communicate in English.
Okay. Don't forget the we. Don't lose the word we.
We all in all communicate in English.
Okay. It's the right idea, but all in all doesn't quite work here, because all in all is more like an experience you've had. So let's try a different one other than all in all. It doesn't sound, it's the right idea, but it doesn't quite fit here. Can you pick another word from that list which may
Okay.
sound a little bit better than all in all? Not one
Mostly.
that's about an experience we've had, but one that's about, yeah, good. Let's try it
Mostly.
again. We
mostly communicate in English.
Fantastic. Okay. I agree completely. Sounds good. Okay, and to finish it up, what's happening here? I hear lots of noise from somebody. To finish it up, let's go back to Ishmael, who we skipped earlier. Are you there, Ishmael?
Yes, I am here, Jon-Eric.
Okay. I want you to try number 7. Sorry,
6.
number 6. No, he did 6 in the end. So go back to number 7 because we skipped it. So you're doing number 7.
I was very happy with the way it went.
Okay. Adding one of those generalizations now. Adding one of these now. Okay, so try it again, but add one of these key expressions, Ishmael.
I mostly was very happy.
Okay, good. I mostly was very happy, or I was mostly very happy. Which sounds better?
The second.
It does. So
Yes.
when you have the verb to be, your adverb has to go after. But in all the other verbs, it goes before. So we would say, for example, I generally prefer to travel by train. Not I prefer generally. I generally prefer. But if it's the verb to be, I was mostly very happy. Not I mostly was. So that's actually a rule in English, and it's good that you brought it up because it's not obvious. The verb to be is different than the others. Your adverb has to go after, not before. Very good. Listen again. I'm going to give you a list of the ones that I did. Listen again, just so that you can have these fresh in your memory. Number 1, in general, I prefer to travel by train. Number 2, we mostly operate in the Far East. Number 3, I thought it was an excellent presentation overall. Number 4, generally speaking, we don't work at weekends. Number 5, on the whole, it was a great trip. Number 6, we mainly communicate in English. Number 7, all in all, I was very happy with the way it went. Or I was mostly happy with the way it went. The reason I can't put mostly in very is because they don't mean exactly the same thing. So I would probably change it to overall to all in all, because I'm emphasizing very in this case. But if I take out very, I can say I was mostly happy. So if I want to take it out, I can put an adverb there. Questions? Clear? Clear? Not clear? We cool?
Clear.
Clear. All right. Let's see what we can do with this. Work with the partner. Well, we've got a lot of people, so we can work with each other. Make sentences about these ideas using phrases or words you underlined in one. Well, don't worry about underline. We didn't underline them. We just identified which ones were generalizations. Then compare your sentence with the other group. Say how you feel about a trip you've been on, traveling, your work, your progress in English, your company's recent performance. We'll stick with those for now. I want to give you something with a little more structure. So we'll stick with one of those for now. Okay? So we're going to go around the room one more time. Now you're going to be speaking about yourself using one of these prompts. Talk about a trip you've been on, traveling, talk about your work, talk about your progress in English, talk about your company's recent performance. Use generalizations. Use your generalizations. Okay? So let's start. Oops, hang on just a second here. Okay. Yuki, let's start with you. Okay, we're going to go from right to left this time.
Okay.
Pick one, make a generalization about it.
Generalization. Yeah.
Yeah.
On the whole, our traveling turned out successful.
Good. But you can't say our traveling. You have to say our what?
Travel.
Our trip.
Our trip.
That's right.
Yes.
So say it again from the beginning. Say it again from the beginning.
On the whole, a trip you've been on turned out successful.
Well, talk about yourself, though. Yeah, but talk about yourself. Talk about a real experience. On the whole, my trip to New York turned out successful. I got a new client, for example. So I want you to talk about your own experience as much as possible. Okay, but that was good. Getting a message from someone. I don't know why I'm getting a message here. Sorry. Teaching now. Okay, Ishmael, pick one of the prompts and talk about your own experience. Think about something you've done at work. Think about your progress in English. Whatever you want, but make a generalization talking about your own experience. Ishmael.
I want to travel mostly in different countries.
I want to travel mostly in different countries. Okay. Because you've already traveled in Turkey?
Yes.
So now it's time to go out into the world. I want to travel mostly. I mostly want to travel, Ishmael. I mostly want to travel to different countries. Repeat.
I mostly want to travel to different countries.
There you go. It's got to go before the verb. Very good. Antonio, pick a prompt and say something about your experience using a generalization.
Yes. Generally speaking, my work isn't so boring.
Oh, good. What do you do?
I'm a teacher.
You're a teacher. What do you teach?
I teach information technology.
IT. Very good.
Thank you.
You have a lot in common with Ahmed. Ahmed, you do the same thing, more or less, don't you? Uh-oh, can't hear you, Ahmed. Your microphone is...
Hello, hello,
There you
hello.
go. There you go. You're also an IT teacher, aren't you?
Yeah, more or less, yes.
Very good. How's your work going?
Well, I do agree with him. Let's talk about today, for example. Overall, my work today was an utter disaster.
Oh. In general, why so?
Not really. It is just an example.
Okay.
Okay.
Abdullah, what about your work? How's it going?
My work was awful. Now,
oh no.
Now it's good.
So, adding a generalizing expression to my work was awful, you have to add it after the verb to be. Which generalization word could you remember you can add to my work was awful?
My
work was blank, awful.
My work was a blank, awful.
No, don't say blank. You have to replace it. You have to replace it with one of these.
My work was mostly awful.
Very good. My work was mostly awful. But now, how is it?
Now is good.
Excellent. Tell me what changed, Abdullah. What changed? Did you get a new job?
Yeah, I get a new job. It's more better than past job.
Okay, great. And can I ask, what do you do? Are you a teacher? Are you an IT teacher?
No, I am a secretary now.
Secretary.
Working in the office.
Okay, very good. So lots of filing, things like that.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So what I'd like you to do is, let me just see here. I think that was it for this. Yes. Okay, we're going to pick up another skill here because we're going to take these skills and put them together in the next class. So we're going to leave generalizing for a moment. I'm going to give you some homework so you can maybe work with this, but We'll come back to it a little bit later. In fact, we'll come back to it tomorrow. For now, we're going to move on to the second topic. At least we're going to begin it. Contrasting. In the next class, we'll probably put these together so you can use generalization and contrasts in a realistic way. But today, we're just going to work on the basic skills that you need. So, first of all, let's go back to what that means, contrasting. In any language, you have a few basic linking words that are very easy to learn because they're almost the same in every language. I don't mean they sound the same, I mean the meaning is the same. So, for example, let's see, do I speak any languages here? Well, Antonio, you're Italian. And
Yes.
that's the only one I might know some words in. Okay, Russian maybe. Maybe I know a little bit of Russian. So if I want to translate a word like Yuki, no, or an Italian, ma, it's pretty easy to translate it into English, right? How do I say that in English?
But.
And in Russian, it's no, isn't it? Yuki?
Niet. In Russian, no.
Niet? It's no, isn't it?
Niet.
No. In Russian, no. In English, but.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
I thought I was forgetting.
No.
I don't mean no in English. So these are really easy to translate. We call these the fanboys because it's easy to remember the acronym fanboy. F is for for, O is for A is for an, N is for nor, B is for but, O is for or, Y is for yet, S is for so. Those are your basic connector words, the fanboys.
Could you repeat, please?
I will repeat, and I will write them as well. You can remember these by remembering the word fanboy.
Nice.
Those people that go to the football games, if they're boys, they're fanboys. They're going to see their favorite team, right? So, fans. Fan. F is for, A is for and, B is for but, O is for or, Y is for yet, S is for so. Fanboys. For and nor, but or yet so. For and nor.
S is for?
But take a look in the chat window. Look in the Verbling chat. Do you see what I wrote? In the chat window? And I'll write it also in the interior chat inside of the classroom.
Yeah.
So you can see it in both places. Okay?
I don't see inside the classroom in the group chat. All right then. Yes, okay.
So, it's easy to remember. If you think of fanboys, think of the letters F-A-N-B-O-Y-S. That's for and nor, but or yet so. For and nor, but or yet so. Let's see if I can do it backwards. So, yet, or, fanboys. But, nor, and for. So, yet, or, but, nor, and for. For and nor, but or yet so. See? I can do it backwards and forwards. Why am I telling you this? Here's the reason. Each one of those words is not just a word. It's a whole category of words. So if you can remember that B is for but, and you know what but is in your language, you can easily make the connection to all the other more complex words like however. However is a but word. Despite is a but word. Although is a but word. What about not only, but also? Well, that looks like a but word because it says but also, but it's not. It's an and word because it has also in it. Additionally is an and word. Furthermore is an and word. So in the context, when you hear something new or you read it, you have to link it back to one of those fanboys, and that will help you quickly recognize the form of the word. So fanboys are basically there to give you 6 categories of language. So for is the same as because, it's a cause. And is for addition, that's number 2. For and nor and or are basic comparisons or alternatives. But is contrast for an or, but, or yet is concession when you give up something to get something else. And finally, so is conclusion. Those are your 6. Okay? So cause, addition, contrast, comparison, concession, and conclusion. Those are your 6 categories. 6 categories. There are a few others, but they're so obvious I don't even name them. They're so obvious, like time, that's a category. Place, it's a category. How you do something, the manner, that's a category. But they're very obvious. These are a little bit more important because you really need to know how to contrast ideas and add ideas. Okay, so that's why I'm spending a little more time. Now that you know that, let's go back to our presentation and see if we can focus on the but words.
Jon-Eric.
Yeah.
Could you repeat again? What do you mean with fanboy?
I mean the basic linking words in the language. The basic linking words. So F in fan is for. For is just the same as because. Because is anything that gives a reason. A is for and is addition. Also is an and word. Furthermore is an and word. As well is an and word. B is for but is a contrast. However is a but word. Does that make sense? Ishmael, does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah? So the reason I'm telling you this is because if you remember the fanboys, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so, you can start to categorize the other linking words. Put them in those 6 categories to make them easier to understand, especially when you're seeing them for the first time.
What is the help of this for us?
To be able to recognize complex linking words like nevertheless or in so much as. So when you can link them back to the fanboys, you'll know the connection. The second thing is that we're going to work on contrast right now. That's what we're focusing on. We're going to focus on expanding our vocabulary for contrast words.
Yes.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. So let's go back to our presentation. Using contrasting language. That's the but. That's the B in fanboys, the but words. First, let's try to look at something in context. Ishmael, why don't you read this for us? Can you read the directions at the top? And then I'll have someone else read the letter for us. Can you read the top?
Okay. Language at work. Contrasting language. 1. Paul has concerns about working with Mr. Tran. In particularly,
Whoa.
in particular in particular about
Good.
the size of Mr. Tran's factory and the language barrier. Read Sandrine's email to Paul. How good is she at reassuring Paul?
Now, these are people we heard before. We listened into a few business meetings, and this was, I can't remember if it was the first or second one. I don't remember. I think this was the second one we listened to. So these are the same characters before, and remember that I think this was the issue about taking over the family business, if I remember right. Okay? So let's do that. We're going to listen to Paul's concerns, we're going to read about it, and we're going to pick out the contrasting language. But first, let's read the email, okay? So what do you think? Antonio, want to read the email for us?
Yes, I do.
Go for it.
Dear Paul, thanks for your email. I can quite understand your concerns.
Your concerns.
Your concerns. 1. Reliability. Yes.
Reliability.
Reliability of supplies.
Supply.
Supplies. Could I repeat? reliability of supplies. Yes.
Good.
Okay. Even though Mr. Tran's factory is small, it is efficient and well organized, so it should be able to satisfy commitments. 2. Language. Okay, I have to stop.
Sorry?
Can I continue?
Sure, yes, go ahead. Sorry. Go
Okay.
ahead.
2. Language. Despite having language problems with a mixture of English and French, we will be able to get by. Although he may not be a great linguist, I think he is an energetic and committed businessman. I can understand that you are worried. However, if we manage to convince Mr. Tran to come and see us, I think that you will be as impressed as I was. I think it will be worth in the long run, despite the potential problems. Best wishes, Sandrine.
Fantastic. It sounds good. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to pick out all the words which mean the same as but. So we're going to go back to our fanboys, for and nor but or yet so. We have to find all the synonyms of but. It says here, underline the different contrasting words. You don't have to underline them, you have to tell me what they are. Okay? So, give me one, just one, Antonio.
Even.
Even though.
Even though, yeah, even though.
Right.
Even though means the same that but, really?
Right. So let me do an example here. If we put but back in the sentence, Mr. Tran's factory is small but efficient. Right?
Pardon?
Mr. Tran's factory is small but efficient and well organized.
Yes. So it's the same.
Right. And I can change the sentence around. I could say, Mr. Tran's factory is small but efficient. Well, the point is, if we use even though, it gives more emphasis than just but. Maybe it's a little hard to see in the sentence. Okay, Ahmed, I'd like you to find the next contrast word. What's the next but word in this text? What do you think, Ahmed?
But word. Okay.
The next but word.
Okay. Despite.
Good. Read the sentence for us.
By using but.
First, read it as it is, and then when you put but back in and see how it sounds.
Okay. Despite having language problems with a mixture of English and French, we will be able to get by.
Well, I wonder how it would sound with a but. I wonder.
Okay, I will try.
You have to be a little bit creative.
Okay, I will try my best.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, look.
We will be able.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead. Good.
Okay. We will be able to get by, but we have language problems.
We'll have. Right, we will have.
We will have language problems with a mixture of English and French.
Absolutely. So when you use, so Ishmael, this goes back to what you were asking. You said, why is this important for us, right? So yes. Ishmael, this is the reason. Because if we say but, we have to put the sentence in a different order. We have to say, we will be able to get by, but we will have language problems. If we put despite, we can change the order of the sentence and we can add emphasis to what we want. Here, the emphasis is on the problems. No, the emphasis is on the fact that there will be problems, but it will still be okay. We can put the emphasis in that way, despite having problems. Also, we can cut out a lot of words. Instead of saying, but we will have problems, we put in despite, we cut out we will, take it out, change the have to having, and it sounds a lot more like a native speaker. Despite having problems, we will get by. Ishmael, what's the next but word in the text?
Although.
Fantastic. So read it as it is first.
Although he may not be a great linguist, I think he is an energetic and committed businessman.
Perfect. Try it with but. Let's see how it sounds.
I think he is an energetic and committed businessman, but
he may not be a great linguist.
Not be a great linguist.
Exactly. We have to put it back in its original order, and it has less emphasis than before. So although gives stronger emphasis. When we begin a sentence, we use although. When we're connecting ideas, we use though. So the AL usually begins a sentence. That's the difference between although and though. For example, although or even though, they can begin a sentence. Okay, so that's very good. And Abdullah, are there any other but words? Can you find one more?
Wait a second.
Okay.
However.
Absolutely. So read the sentence as it is.
However, if we manage to convince Mr. Train to come and see us.
Keep going, I think.
I think that you will be as impressed as I was. I think it will...
Repeat after me. Impressed.
Impressed.
Right.
Impressed.
The ED sounds like a T when you follow it, when it's following an S. After an S, it sounds like a T. Impressed.
Impressed.
That's it. Okay, Abdullah, how would it sound if we put but back in?
But if we manage...
wait. Nope. Can't go there. You can't replace however with but in the same position. You've got to change the sentence a little bit.
A
little bit.
Wait. If we manage...
This one is a little bit more difficult. You have to be a little bit creative here. It's not that obvious.
Okay.
It's not that obvious.
What if we put so?
Well, try it. Let's see how it sounds. Try it.
So, if we manage to convince Mr. Train to come and to see us, I think that will be as impressed as
impressed
as I was.
Okay. So the answer is so. It sounds good in the sentence. You're right.
Yeah.
But we lose the contrast. We're not contrasting anything now. We're concluding. So Abdullah, so sounds good. But now the meaning of the sentence has changed. Now we're giving a conclusion rather than a contrast. Anyway, this one was a little bit difficult. Let me show you what I mean. To use but, you have to connect it to the previous word. Because the previous sentence, previous sentence. I can understand that you are worried, but if we manage to convince him to come, you'll be as impressed as I was. So, however, is actually contrasting with the previous sentence. Is that clear? Abdullah, is that clear?
Little bit.
So, however, it doesn't mean but to connect as impressed with managed to convince. It's not connecting those two ideas. It's connecting worried to impressed. I know you're worried, but you will be impressed. So if we replace however with but, we have to really link those two sentences together. I can understand you're worried, but you will be impressed. Why? Because if you meet him in person, you'll like him. Right? That's another way to say it. So we're connecting I can understand you're worried with you will be impressed. That's the contrast. That's the but.
Yeah.
Okay. And Yuki, is there do we miss any but words in this text, or did we get them all? I think we're missing one. I think we got one more.
You already said this part. Yeah?
Despite.
Although,
Well,
however,
there's another despite, isn't there?
in the last sentence,
Of course.
after used despite, once again, it is a sentence. I think it will be worth it in the long run, despite the potential problems.
Okay. So try to replace despite with but and see how the sentence must change. There's a
Okay.
little change we have to make.
I think it will be worth it in the long run, but the potential but there would be the potential problems.
Okay, good. So we have to change the tense. We have to add a verb tense here, like you did. I think it will be worth it in the long run, but there will be, or there may be, well, potential means maybe. So let's take out potential and put in maybe. Despite,
might be.
Yeah, or might be. It might be, it may be. Both are okay. Might is a little bit better.
There may be the potential problems.
Right. There may be potential problems. Take out the. There may be potential problems. I think it will be worth it in the long run, but there may be problems. There may be potential problems. Take out the. That's it. Very good. So what is despite followed by? What is despite followed by? We've got two different cases with despite. What is despite followed by? What do you need to remember?
Firstly, despite it can be used as a conjunction. So
Sure.
In the first sentence, despite having language problems. No.
That's fine, but having. What do we call having? Do you know what we call that
Having
grammatically?
with gerund.
It's a gerund.
Yes.
So what is despite followed by? It can be followed by a gerund, right?
Right.
Yes. Whether despite is followed, I don't know. Whether gerund is followed by despite or
you don't even have to think. Just look at the second one. The. What kind of word follows the? Adjective, noun, verb?
Noun.
So the answer is despite is followed by a noun. A gerund is the noun form of a verb. And the indicates a noun. So you can clearly see there's a noun. So despite having done it or despite it, a noun or of course a pronoun can replace the noun. So basically a noun or a substantive word always follows despite, not a verb. Okay? Not a preposition either. We don't need to say despite of having problems. No, just despite having or despite it or despite the problems. Okay, keep that in mind. I'm going to send you a little homework to try on your own, and we're going to pick it up there tomorrow. We're going to practice both contrasting language and generalizing in tomorrow's class in a more realistic way. But I'll give you a little homework to practice on your own to think about it more. Okay? Questions or comments, send me a message through Verbling in the message system. I'll be back tomorrow bright and early for great short stories in the first hour at 10 GMT and the next business class in the second hour at 11 GMT. Bye for now, everyone. See you soon.
See you.
Thank you.
Bye
See you
for
next
now.
time.
See
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Take care.